Hello and welcome to the Wendell Effect. My name is Brandon Wendell, and I'll be guiding you through my view on the U.S. Equity Index futures for this week, April 23rd. Just a quick reminder before we get started, we're not registered broker-dealers or investment advisors. Going to take a look at the information from an educational standpoint only, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold any particular securities, giving any personalized recommendations. All markets do involve risk of loss. Past performance, no indication of future results, and we are not subject to trading restrictions, so we can have a position in a security and initiate one at a time. Please stay in touch with me. You can go ahead and email me at brandonwendell.cmt@gmail.com and tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like me to talk about, and I will respond. You can also follow me on a regular basis on Twitter at TraderBDub, so that way you can get a hold of me and follow me as well as what's going on. And please hit like and subscribe when you find the Wendell Effect here on YouTube, and that'll help us out quite a bit as well. So, for the week of April 23rd, taking a look at the U.S. Equity Index futures, starting off in the ES, we still haven't made a higher high. As you can see, the momentum is dying off. The RSI is showing lower highs, or at least the same highs, and we can't seem to break out. So, we're just still moving sideways in our channel here on the ES. On the daily basis, it's looking a little worse. We have a correction starting. We have a negative divergence where we made higher highs in price, lower highs on the index. That's the RSI, Relative Strength Index, indicating momentum, and therefore we're pulling back a little bit. So right now, this is not suggesting a reversal as of yet, but it is a warning sign that we should get at least a pullback in the markets, a correction. If we get another high where we can't get above 60 on the RSI, then it would be confirmed a reversal trend, but we don't have that yet. So we'll just hold on and see. We still have buying pressure, candles here. Those bottom wicks are trying to push prices higher. So there's a lot of underlying buying pressure still holding up the markets, or at least the ES. On the 4-hour time frame, we got a different picture. You see we had a negative divergence. Then we had that high, which was below 60, and that was kind of the death knell for the bullish trend, starting to pull back much more drastically. So I would not be surprised to see us pull back to that 4,100 area of demand, which also corresponds with a 38.2% correction before we can get more momentum to truly go up. But because of this bullishness on the higher time frame, it's going to be a very choppy move on the way down. Now, the leading index had been the NASDAQ, and I mentioned that a while back. You see that it is making lower highs, started making lower lows, but then started to rally again. So looking at the NASDAQ, you can see we're butting up against weekly supply, and it was also the projection that I had for a couple weeks. But once we hit it, we didn't drop. We went sideways. And we're getting alternating red and green, which obviously is very weak, but these red candles still have bottom tails. Again, there's some underlying bullish pressure for whatever reason trying to push the prices upwards towards the next level supply. On the daily chart, we see the lack of momentum where we made the lower high and are correcting a little bit. We already actually corrected 23%. Again, last week, lots of bottom tails on those candles. So even though we're moving downwards and making lower highs and lower lows, the price is fighting it the whole way. So it's a very choppy market, and it looks like it's going to continue, unfortunately. On the 4-hour time frame, we've tested this demand multiple times, and the RSI is making peaks below 60, which is very bearish, but we're also just barely making it into bearish territory here. Just went under 40 on the RSI on the 4-hour, suggesting that we might pull back a little bit more, maybe down towards 12,431 as we work our way downwards. But once again, it's going to be a very choppy move the whole way. The Dow is just kind of following along. It rallied up and is failing on the weekly chart to make new highs as well as get above 60. So we're seeing a weaker index here. Looking at the daily continuous, we try to project and move up, but even though we had lots of bullish pressure, we're failing to make new highs. So the fact that the price is trying to push upwards with more momentum but can't seem to make the new highs, that's very bearish. So once that bullish pressure subsides, if the NASDAQ gives up, this is likely to fall pretty quickly as well, down towards at least the 32,700, if not all the way down to 30,700. And on the 4 hours, pretty much the same picture. We had the lack of momentum and the turnaround in price. So we also have a little bit of demand here at a 4-hour, about 33,101. Onto the Russell, that is just sideways and much weaker. You saw it was the weakest of the 4 indexes where we looked at all 4 of them together, and you can see we're stuck in the middle of the range right now with very little momentum. This looks like a correction. We had impulse down, correction back up, looks like we're ready to impulse back to the downside. We did have this impulse 1.618 of the previous impulse. Now we're measuring from here, correction, and we have targets of 1682, 1593, and we actually have a daily demand down to 1564. Finally, in the 4-hour, pretty much same picture. It looks like it's rolling over, much weaker. This will lead us to the downside. And for shorting opportunities, you got to find new zones for supply. We don't have anything nearby, but we definitely have a target around 1720.1. So that's it for the equity index wrap up here for the week, or preview for the week, I should say, upcoming. Again, if you got any questions, send me an email, brandonwendell.cmt@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter, please, @TraderBDub. And of course, please hit like and subscribe. That helps us out a lot. And until next week, trade safe, trade well. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.